I'm a priest. A lot of people come up to me and say things. Sometimes they say things that they think the church believes. And I'm like, we don't believe that. Hey, Father Brad Doyle here, and you're watching Coffee Talk, where we drink coffee, talk about Jesus. This is going to be the first of maybe a series. Every once in a while we'll do We Don't Believe That. It's whenever I kind of take some things that are commonly misunderstood about the church, things that people think we believe, and I show you how we don't. Number one, a lot of people think that if you have a Catholic and a non-Catholic, and the non-Catholic wants to get married in their church, let's say it's a Baptist church or an Anglican church or a Methodist church, that the Catholic's only decisions are either to get married in the Catholic church building or to leave the church completely, not go to the parish priest for marriage prep, and get married, ostensibly leaving the church. We don't believe that. Did you know you could actually petition the bishop? You can ask the bishop, hey, can I get married in another church because my loved one, my intended spouse, the one I desire to give my whole life to, has this just great desire to get married in her church? And guess what? He might give you permission. In fact, let's just say that. If ever you have a question, if ever you have a problem, if ever you're struggling with something and you think, man, can I do this? Just ask. Like, call us up, email us, say, hey, can I get married in this Baptist church? I mean, if you came to me, I would say, well, let's meet. Let's pray. Let me meet your intended spouse. And let's petition the bishop. Let's ask them, because we want you to be married in the church, and we want you to receive all the preparation that's due to you. So you could get prepped in the church, and then a priest or a deacon would come to the wedding, even if it's in another church building, in another denomination, and we'd be witnesses. And sometimes we even do a joint wedding where we participate in some way. Number two, I hear this all the time. If you're divorced, then you cannot receive communion. We don't believe that. By the way, dat is just a Louisiana colloquialism that means that. We don't believe that. Okay, this is the catechism. This is what the catechism says. The separation of spouses while maintaining the marriage bond can be legitimate in certain cases provided for by canon law. Fancy canon law language that means sometimes it might be necessary for ensuring certain legal rights or the care of children or the protection, right, of inheritance or the protection of somebody's person, their physical health. Sometimes civil divorce is a necessity. It's not the ideal. It's not what we desire, right? We don't desire to go into marriage thinking we're going to get civilly divorced. But sometimes it's a necessity. And the church says that it's not a moral evil in those situations to civilly divorce. But that's different than being civilly divorced and remarried outside of the church. Because civil divorce is not the same thing as sacramental divorce. What God has joined sacramentally, no one can divide, even if it is divided civilly. So just mere civil divorce does not mean you can't go to communion. It's if you get civilly divorced and remarried outside of the church. That's when you wouldn't be able to receive. But again, if you're in that situation, you find yourself in that situation, we still want you to come to Mass. We still want you to come. In fact, come to us. Present your situation. What's happened in your life? Where have you been? Where do you want to go? And we'll walk with you and possibly start the process of recognizing or seeing if your first marriage was null. Do we worship Mary? We don't believe that. We don't worship Mary. We love Mary. I have a question. People say, oh, you got statues of Mary in your church. That's right. If I walk into your house, you have a picture of your grandma, you worship your grandma? Weirdo. No, you don't worship your grandma. You love your grandma. You want to remember your grandma. You want your kids and their kids' kids to remember your grandma. But she's important. Mary is important. Mary's the most important woman in history. She's actually the most painted woman in history. The event of the Annunciation is one of the most painted moments in history. We have images of Our Lady. We turn to Our Lady not because we think she's God, but because she's our mother. She brought Jesus to us. We received Jesus through her. And so the Lord wants us to go back to Him through her. She has no power on her own. She herself admits that. She says, do whatever He tells you. We don't worship Mary. We just go to her as children, as any child would to their mother, handing our needs to her so that she can hand them to her Son, Jesus.